thanks to the support as a channel member, Matt Dale. Well, it's been business as usual so far in the Clausura. We've already won the first half of the season. We might be able to, we're 4 games in. It's a little bit premature for this speech, but we are top of the league. Maybe we can win them both. That'd be nice. We have lost our best player though. Hello and welcome to part 8 of El Director Deportivo. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we face Pumas and Leon, both in the league. Since you were last with me, we've started the league quite well. We did lose a game against Tigres. Am I saying that right yet? I think I'm probably still not saying that right. And also we got ourselves knocked out of the Mexican Cup as well, which wasn't ideal, against San Luis, which I certainly didn't expect to lose to them because they haven't been that great at any point during the season at all so far. My fancy new doorbell. Should probably get that. It was nothing exciting. No costumes, no new sexy shirts. What's the point of deliveries if they're not one of those two things? But as you can see, league table wise, we are top after 4 games of the second half of this season. But we are going to have to go through the rest of this year without our striker, because despite the transfer window closing early, the transfer window closed that day. That guy, Roberto Alvarado, came in on deadline day on the 12th of January. He's coming on loan from Cruz Azul for the rest of the season. Again, it's another one of these weird ones where I don't know why they've let us have him on loan. He was a regular player for them. Plus, we didn't need him. I don't know what Mike's thinking. We've got lots of wingers. He's just another winger. But 3 weeks later, when everyone else's transfer window closed, we lost Jose Juan Macias, who's gone to play in China. He had a release clause, £8.75 million. I'm not doing contracts or anything myself, so I couldn't do anything about the release clause. It's Mike's job. If Mike didn't want Macias to have a release clause, he could have sorted him out with a new deal to remove it. He didn't. He's gone to China. We haven't got a replacement, so I'm now kind of glad we brought in that winger because it means we can kind of mix Antuna and Vega into the striker mix with Peralta and Cisneros. And we've also picked up an injury in one of the wide areas as well. If I recall, I thought Lainez was injured. According to this, he's not. Vega is out for 3 months, though. I knew there was someone. And Vasquez is out for 3 months. Both with hip injuries. What have them boys been up to? Goodness me. Right. This is the team then for the Pumas game. Very new look. Not quite as impressive attacking wise. Still no place in the starting 11 for Antuna, mainly because he's my backup striker now, so I don't want to break him like I've broken all of my other players. So we're going with Godinho in goal, a back four of Calderon, Briseño, Montes and Brizuela, Molina at the base of the midfield, Gonzalez and Villalpando ahead of him, and then new boy Alvarado on the left, Lainez now playing on the right as an inside forward, and Cisneros, who of course scored such an important goal for us during the playoffs. He gets to be our striker now, which I hope Mike has got a plan for the summer to solve the striker problem that we've now got. Because Cisneros, he's not a long-term answer up front there. We need someone better than that. There you go. We owe Pumas after what happened. Or Pumas, I've been told it actually is, not Pumas. I'm not going to be able to convince myself to say that. It doesn't work for me. I need to learn to speak Spanish if I'm going to do this long term, I think. But yeah, I think when people were explaining the structure of the Mexican League to me and why it's split in two, one of the explanations I was given that is now making a little bit of sense is that because Mexican teams, the Mexican League, Mexicans, close your ears for a minute, it's kind of a feeder league for the rest of the world. Any players that are any good get hoovered up very quickly by the big European clubs, and to a lesser extent, the MLS are starting to pinch a few Mexican players as well with the offer of extra money. So it can be quite difficult for Mexican sides to keep the same squad of players together for an entire season, because as soon as anybody shows any signs of being any good, next transfer window, next opportunity, they're taken. Their release clauses are enacted and they're gone. So for us, it does make sense, because if this had been a traditional European style league season, we might not have won it, because we've lost our best player and our striker halfway through. We've now got to do half a season without a striker. So now, if we end up getting to the quarterfinals of the playoffs this time round and now not really achieving anything, it doesn't really matter because we've already won the title in the first half of the season. We've already booked a Champions League spot. We already have a trophy and we did it with him. And now it doesn't matter that he's gone so much. Makes sense? I think that makes sense. We're 2-0 up. So what does make sense is that we perhaps didn't need a striker after all, because as ever, we're very good at the set pieces. So we don't need strikers for this. I mean, it's not as if Macias was scoring dozens of goals for us. I think he'd hit 10 goals by the time he left, which, I mean, it's a decent return, but we played 17 league games. We played 6 playoff games. We played, 4 cup games. So we're looking at 27 games. He maybe played 25 of them. I don't remember him getting injured. So for him to have a return of 10 goals in 25 games, it's not all that, is it? Cisneros could maybe do that. There's 10 minutes on the clock and we've got a penalty here and the opportunity to go 3-0 up. What is going on with Pumas? They're supposed to be... How good are they? I can't even... Oh, they're down in 14th. So actually, they're not that great. But they're a team I've heard of. People were sending me their kit and everything when I was trying to choose a Mexican team to manage. When we were talking about it on Discord before we got started. And we talked about it a little bit on Twitch as well. There's my Twitch over... Which side would it be? There's my Twitch. I stream 4 nights a week. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. Come watch me on Twitch. It's fun. But when we were talking about it there and on Discord, Pumas was constantly suggested because they have a cool kit. But apparently they're all kit, no trousers. That's the phrase. That's the phrase, isn't it? I think that's what people say. A good. It's a Mexican proverb if you've not heard it. Brizuela now charging down the right-hand side. Another one of our many wingers who's being forced to play out of position. We've got a right winger playing at right back, a left winger playing on the right wing, and a low knee left winger coming in and playing on our left wing. But our left winger playing on the right, Lainez, who of course is also just here on loan, has just made it 4 with his 8th goal of the season. I think he'll be a bigger miss in the summer when he goes back to Betis. I think he'll be a bigger miss than Macias has been leaving now. As you can see, we're still scoring goals at the moment. And I think that's where this save is really going to take an interesting turn when we get into the summer and we're seeing how good we are next year. Because I think we were lucky. We started with a good team and had a good first window. But this summer, we're going to be losing Montes. We're going to be losing Lainez. We're going to be losing the other winger who's just come in, whose name I can't remember yet. We're going to be losing Gonzalez. So we're losing like the core, the spine of our team are all leaving to go back to their parent clubs. Plus, who knows who's going to get sold. Mike needs to play another blinder this summer to leave us with a team that's even competitive. Never mind capable of winning the league again or competing in the Champions League. We could be left with a team that might not even get into the playoffs, which would be a disaster, and I'll get fired. Please don't do that to me, Mike. We are 4-0 up at half-time, which I thought that was a half-time whistle. It wasn't. We've got yet another highlight. Come on, boys. Let's wrap this up. We've got orange segments that are going warm. That feels like a concern they'd have in Mexico. But I was criticised when I didn't realise it snowed in the winter in Greece a few months ago. What's the weather like in Mexico in February? Surely Mexico is a country where it's hot all year round, isn't it? Or else I just don't understand climate and geography if Mexico is sometimes cold, because it's further south than the parts of America that always look hot on the telly, so it must be hot all the time. Breaking Bad has taught me that. Right. Molina plays it forward to Lainez. Lainez finds Cisneros, who's dropped very deep. Villalpando is going to charge forward. He's got no one ahead of him, though, because Cisneros had dropped deep. He decided he didn't need anybody. He had a shot, and it's a good save from the Pumas goalkeeper. And we have yet another set piece, and we know how dangerous we are from these corners. And there's Lainez getting on the end of this one. All 5'8" of him getting on the end of a corner and really testing their goalkeeper again. We are... I don't know why the Mexican defenders cannot cope with a relatively simple corner routine. It doesn't. I don't understand. Beltran's going to come on. We're going to bring Antuna on up front because we're continuing to try and force him into realising that he's a striker. So we're playing with all three of our wingers on at the same time now. And I think in an ideal world, all three of them would probably like to be playing on the left wing. The same was true of Macias as well. We could, if you've been around for a while and you remember the Special K, we had a squad at one point that would have done a lovely Special K. If you don't know what a Special K is, go back, learn your history, watch the Nuneaton intro video. I think it was FM18, the Nuneaton series. The intro video for that, you'll learn all about the Special K. You even got a clip of it in the first episode of this series. So you should have already gone back and watched it. If you thought, who's that Kev's giving a team talk to in this little intro clip? That was me giving a team talk to Kelvin Langmead, at the time captain of Nuneaton, explaining the Special K to him and telling him how, as a centre-back, he was going to have to basically play defensive midfield but still do all the work of a centre-back. It was revolutionary. I don't know why more teams don't do it. But for once, we had the opportunity to do it, and even I chickened out. So maybe that's why the Special K has never caught on. It's 5-0 to Chivas. We are absolutely steamroller in this lot. Who are we playing next? Is there anyone any good in this league? Or are we just awesome? I'm the greatest manager the Mexican League has ever seen. Beltran's in here, makes it 6. It's his first goal of the season. I don't even know why Beltran's there, because he's our central midfielder. We've evolved to total football now. This is a lovely ball over the top. I don't know where our striker's hanging out. That's the striker, I think, there. Beltran on the shoulder of the last defender, playing as a central midfielder. And it's a lovely calm finish from him. And that's 6-0. And this is the best performance, I think, since that very first match against Pueblas, where we won 8-0. That was very good. Just the one change for the Leon game then. Maduena, our backup right back, or I guess, theoretically, first choice right back, because he is the best right back at the club. He's been asking for game time, so I'm bringing him in. I'll push Brizuela further forward. Linus can go over to the left, and Alvarado can drop down to the bench. So we've now got Antuna and Alvarado both on the bench. And inexplicably, Cisneros still in the team. We actually might have to experiment with strikerless. I've never done it before. Someone explain to me down in the comments how you do strikerless. Bearing in mind, I don't have any attacking midfielders either. So what I'm thinking is left wingers and left midfielders and right as well. I did both hands, but then only talked about the left. Wide wingers and wide midfielders in the same team at the same time with fullbacks behind them. Don't see how it can fail. 2 central midfielders, 2 centre backs, 6 wide players and a goalkeeper. Tell me why that's a bad idea. Because our wingers score all of our goals anyway. Especially if we play them as inside forwards. I know it's a bad idea. That's why I've not done it. But Cisneros, bless him, he's not very good, is he? Gonzalez, Villalpando, Tolines, Calderon. We're knocking the ball around beautifully. The rest of our team is excellent. Villalpando plays it to Brizuela, who's very confused that he's not playing at right back today. Cisneros hits it straight into the defender. Maduena crossed over again, looking for Linez. In fact, it's Gonzalez who'd pushed forward from midfield. Gonzalez again to Linez and Molina. And Gonzalez, we're good at possession. This tiki-taka is working nicely for us. And we've drawn the foul there, and we're going to have a free kick on the edge of the area, which I guess we did nothing with, because it wasn't enough to justify a highlight. Is that Joel Campbell off of the World Cup and Arsenal reserves playing for Leon there? I don't want to click on him because it will guarantee that he scores against us. But I think that's a good indication of where my real world football knowledge kind of stopped. Around about him. Anything after him, I probably don't know what's going on. But how old is he now? We will click on him. We're going to click on him. Firstly, let's have a little bit of a moan. We need to see how old Joel Campbell is. So he's 27. So yeah, there you go. Was he still at Arsenal as recently as last season? Goodness me. When I said off of the World Cup, I think I meant this one. Wow. There you go. So it's around 2012, which coincidentally is when Anna moved in. Did Anna ban me from watching football? Maybe it's her fault and not Manchester City's. Who knows? Right, we're not top of the league right now because we're not winning this game. Monterrey, who of course are the team that we faced in the final back in January in the Apertura, are the team that are currently top of the table again. So despite history suggesting that teams rarely win both, it is the same two teams that were competing for it the first time who have started the season, certainly in the best kind of form. America, who were there as well. The one team that have dropped off are Tigres, who are all the way down there in 10th place, who of course are the team that we faced in the semi-final, with Monterrey beating Club America in the other semi-final. Villalpondo's got a huge amount of space here to run into. He's gone past his man. He's hit it from range, and he deserved more from that, I think, because it wasn't a tame effort. He's hit that with some welly, but their goalkeeper has kept hold of it. But Cisneros is in. I told you he was good. I always had faith in him. Is the referee disallowing this? He's doing that look that he does. He's not, thankfully, and we're all doing I don't know what that celebration is, but half of our team are all doing it. Is that a Mexican thing? Lioness with the flick on to Cisneros. It's a good finish, actually. And to be fair to him, he's only 22. He might actually turn into a good player from having this forced run in the team. This whole director of football stipulation might be the making of me for developing young players. All this stuff that I'm learning for FM21 through the Greek Odyssey and through El Director Deportivo, all these things that I didn't know how to do before. Non-League to Legends is going to be over in 4 seasons this year. We need to make it harder. We need to win the Galactic Soccer Championship to end it this year. Winning the Champions League won't be enough because we'll sneeze and accidentally win the Champions League with Barnet. Right, Maduena to Brizuela, who's been fouled there, I think, but the referee doesn't call it. But luckily, we get the ball back and release Brizuela again, who obviously wasn't hurt in the foul because he's come away with the ball and had a decent effort off the back of it. Right, substitutions. We're going to bring Ponce on at left back. Brizuela wasn't very good on the wing. He can go back to being a fullback. And I think I'll bring Beltran on again because he looked good charging forward from central midfield in the last game. It would be nice for us to just grab another goal just to secure things here, really. Leon are down in 13th place. So they're a team we should be beating, but now it's 1-1. We're going to demand more and hope that we've probably improved the attack. He says probably. Antuna for Brizuela is definitely improving the attack. Beltran showed he could score goals in the what did I just call Brizuela, by the way? If I can't read the names, any combination of letters comes out of my mouth. I don't think I was anywhere near his name. That's who I meant. Gonzalez with the free kick. Just score it. Very close. Very close indeed. Puebla being thumped again. That feels standard. Yet inexplicably in 6th place. How do they get thumped so often yet get in the playoffs? They did it last year. So they're up to 5th, for goodness sake. They're 5-1 down. They've moved up 2 places. Well, after a dominant victory, a less dominant draw. We know the league doesn't matter. As long as we finish in the top 8, we'll be fine. And if Puebla can, anyone can. And that might be the first series-specific T-shirt I do this year, because that is my genuine thoughts on the Mexican League. If Puebla can, anyone can. And tomorrow we're going to come back and continue to prove that point. I'm thinking we probably go through a lot of league games now. We've got no cup going on. The next really interesting thing that's going to happen is us qualifying for the playoffs and then playing the playoffs. So I think I'll probably just come back as and when we're in a position to qualify, because finishing anywhere between 1st and 8th is meaningless. We just need to finish there. So it doesn't matter if we lose our next 3 games, as long as at some point we can qualify for the playoffs. So we'll just come back when that's possible, and then we'll do the playoffs and hopefully become double champions. Is that what they're referred to? They should be. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.